morning and welcome to Holy Nativity. We'd like to welcome everybody that's joined us here this morning in worship, as well as those that are joining us online on our live stream. For today's worship, you were handed a worship folder that contains a green service order card and all the information about the readings and the prayers and the hymns for today. These are the items that will guide you through today's service, or you can follow the projected information if you prefer. Gather and Grow is our midweek worship and activities that meets here each Wednesday at 7 p.m. There are activities for all ages. Everyone is welcome. Please join us. We're having a Shrove Tuesday pancake supper on February the 13th, and that's from 5 to 8 p.m. Adults and children are over 5 are $5 each, and children under 4 are free. There'll be a raffle and a silent auction, and the best part is it's all you can eat. Tickets are available today after both of the services. We have a upcoming women's retreat, and that's on March 2nd through the 4th. We're beyond the deadline for that event, but if you're interested in attending and you haven't signed up and you'd like to speak to somebody, please talk to Becky, Claire, Terry, or Legita. On Wednesday mornings, we have a prayer gathering, and that's from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. This is a new opportunity for folks that may want to start their day in prayer. We've also kicked off a new evangelism ministry here, and we will become more deliberate about sharing the gospel throughout the week. Pastor will speak more about this later in the service. If you have a desire to serve, we have ministry team positions open for both PR and fellowship. Please speak to Gary or the pastor if you're interested. Each Friday night, there's volleyball in the Family Life Center, and that's from 7 to 9 p.m. Join us if you feel compelled to participate in that. We're also looking for altar care persons and readers for this service. Let us know if you're interested. For today's service, the songs are all from the Hymns of Faith hymnal, which is the thick blue book in front of you, with one exception that comes with one voice, and that's the thin blue book. So everything's out of the blue books today. Thank you, and may God bless.
Well, good morning. Good morning. And welcome to worship this morning. I know many of you have started looking at this beautiful village right here. And remember last week I told you that this week we're going to have this put up here. And what it represents is our vision statement. We took a whole year to talk about our vision statement, how we call that Christ, and we're going to do that this morning. And then the last thing we'll do is go out and share the gospel. And so what the days represent is those of you or us who touch lives during the course of the week. When we come on Sunday morning, we're going to put a flower in his vase. So the flowers are out there on the information desk, just as I told you it would be this week. And so right now we already have 2 flowers in the vase already. So 2 people share the faith this week, and as the vase grows beautifully, we will be able to determine how many people truly share the faith with someone during the course of the week. So when it is reading time, you go out, or maybe the ushers will bring the flowers in, and you will take a flower and put it in the vase during the time you're reading one another. All right, and we want to welcome Maria, who's been away from church for a few weeks, and she's here this morning with us for prayer. We thank God for you for being back here to worship with us. Let's continue to pray for Dan, Judge, as I think he's back home now, right? Let's continue to pray with him. I was at the hospital last Sunday, and he will probably be back with us as well. All right, with that, let us rise and begin worship this morning with to whom all hearts are open and all desires known, from whom no secrets are hid. Cleanse the thoughts of our hearts by the inspiration of your Holy Spirit. We may perfectly love you and worthily magnify your holy name through Jesus Christ our Lord.
Amen.
If we say we have no sin, we deceive ourselves, and the truth is not in us. But if we confess our sins, God, who is faithful and just, will forgive our sins and cleanse us from all unrighteousness. So most merciful God, we confess that we are by nature sinful and unclean. We have sinned against you in thought, word, and deed, by what we have done, and by what we have left undone. We have not loved you with our whole heart. We have not loved our neighbors as ourselves. For the sake of your Son, Jesus Christ, have mercy on us. Forgive us, renew us, and lead us, so that we may delight in your will and walk in your ways, to the glory of your holy name. Amen. Almighty God, in his mercy has given his Son to die for us, and for his sake forgives us all our sins, as the called and ordained minister of the Church of Christ, and by his authority, I therefore declare to you the entire forgiveness of all your sins, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. The Lord be with you.
And also with you.
Now let us pray. O God, our Lord and Father, through the grace of your Holy Spirit, you plant the gifts of your love into the hearts of your faithful people. Grant to your servants soundness of mind and body, so that they may love you with their whole strength and with their whole heart. Do these things that are pleasing in your Son, through Jesus Christ, your Son, our Lord, who lives and reigns with you in the Holy Spirit, one God, now and forever. Amen. Amen. Now we make peace with God. Let us pass that peace in worship.
The first lesson comes from the book of Isaiah, chapter 40, verses 21 through 31, found on page 715. Do you not know? Have you not heard? Has it not been told you from the beginning? Have you not understood since the earth was founded? He sits enthroned above the circle of the earth, and its people are like grasshoppers. He stretches out the heavens like a canopy and spreads them out like a tent to live in. He brings princes to naught and reduces the rulers of this world to nothing. No sooner are they planted, no sooner are they sown, no sooner do they take root in the ground, than he blows on them, and they wither, and a whirlwind sweeps them away like chaff. To whom will you compare me? Or who is my equal, says the Holy One? Lift your eyes and look to the heavens. Who created all these? He who brings out the starry host one by one and calls them each by name, because of his great power and mighty strength, not one of them is missing. Why do you say, O Jacob, and complain, O Israel? My way is hidden from the Lord. My cause is disregarded by my God. Do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He will not grow tired or weary, and his understanding no one can fathom. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. Here ends the first lesson.
Good morning. The second lesson comes to us today from 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verses 16 through 27, found on page 1134 of our Pew Bibles. And it reads, Yet when I preach the gospel, I cannot boast, for I am compelled to preach. Woe to me if I do not preach the gospel. If I preach voluntarily, I have a reward. If not voluntarily, I am simply discharging the trust committed to me. What then is my reward? Just this, that in preaching the gospel I may offer it free of charge, so not make use of my rights in preaching it. Though I am free and belong to no man, I make myself a slave to everyone, to win as many as possible. To the Jews I became like a Jew, to win the Jews. To those under the law, I became like one under the law, though I myself am not under the law, so as to win those under the law. To those not having the law, I became like one not having the law, though I am not free from God's law, but am under Christ's law, as to win those not having the law. To the weak I became weak, to win the weak. I have become all things to all men, so that by all possible means I might save some. I do all this for the sake of the gospel, that I may share in its blessings. Do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way as to get the prize. Everyone who competes in the games goes into strict training. They do it to get a crown that will not last, but we do it to get a crown that will last forever. Therefore, I do not run like a man running aimlessly. I do not fight like a man beating the air. No, I beat my body and make it a slave, so that after I have preached to others, I myself will not be disqualified for the prize. Here ends our second lesson for today. Now let's rise up for the singing of our gradual hymn, Have Thy Own Way, Lord.
As soon as they left the synagogue, they went with James and John to the home of Simon and Andrew. Simon's mother-in-law was in bed with fever, and they told Jesus about